Good evening and welcome to Mustang Field as we get ready to start Season 19. This is the Preseason Classic, the game where everything's made up and the points don't matter, but our coaches get a preview of what's to come. They find their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities as they draft the game plan for the upcoming 11 weeks of games that do count on the record. Again, welcome to Mustang Field. This is our 19th year of action here at Wakiva High School. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wakiva High School. I'll be joined in a moment by Neil Fisher, longtime Apopka sports writer. We'll be taking you through this evening's game where it is the Gabriel Bowl. Coach Doug Gabriel of the Mustangs against Coach Travis Gabriel of the Olympia Titans, as these two teams face off in what could be a preview of things to come. Both of these OCPS Metro schools who certainly could see each other again. And a lot of personnel changes, certainly among the players. Wakiva had a big graduating class last year, so a lot of brand new names on the roster as we get ready to go here at Mustang Field. We'll turn it down to the field now as we welcome the JROTC onto the field, and the marching band prepares for the national anthem. Here we go. Yes, I don't see the band, but here we go. Good evening, everyone. Wakiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Field for the Preseason Classic of Season 19. Please welcome our guests from Olympia High School. They are the Titans. And they'll be taking on your Wakiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we invite you to please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the presentation of colors by the cadets of Wakiva's Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, followed by our national anthem. And we welcome you to Mustang Field. This is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Chief, longtime Apopka sports writer, to take you through. And Neil, as I was saying during the pregame, a lot of personnel changes here. The coaching staff the same, but the players, Wekiva and Olympia, both, I think, had a lot of turnover. I know when I was going through the roster before the game, I saw a ton of new names that we did not see on last year's varsity roster. So it's a new day, a new year, a new season for Wekiva football.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what the sport is, although you hear it mostly when it comes to baseball. Hope springs eternal. That applies for every single sport. And we got two teams. You just mentioned it. Both these teams looking to rebound from by whatever standards you want to use. We're subpar. Wakiva, the home team tonight, of course, they came in 3-7. Olympia 4-6. Olympia's story is very simple. Of course, both these coaches. And we'll continue in just a moment here with the background.
And we'll take this opportunity to introduce our officials as our teams meet at midfield for the coin toss. The referee for tonight's game is Tom Becker, umpire Jamal Taylor. Headlinesmen, John McClung, line judge, Jada Herbert, back judge, William Gilchrist, and clock operator, William Smith from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition.
And so, as I was saying, Mark, both these coaches are members of the Gabriel clan. Of course, Travis, the older brother, coaching at Olympia. He's been there, I believe this is his 5th year. And Doug, coaching the head man at Wakiva, this is his 2nd year. And under Coach Gabriel, Travis, that is in Olympia, the 2 previous seasons before last season, they went to the playoffs, won a game in the playoffs as well, over 500. They were 4-6 last year, so certainly a drop for Wakiva. They're looking to reclaim that glory they had during the Rich Bedison years, which ended in 2020. It has been 4 years since they had a winning season, and of course, as I mentioned, 3-7. And also to reiterate what you said, Mark, a lot of turnover. They had a lot of seniors last year, but they were one-year players, starting with their quarterback. So
Olympia has won the toss and deferred. Wakiva will have the first possession of the first half. So we are ready to get things underway here at Mustang Field.
And couldn't play out better there with Wakiva receiving, because I was just about to talk about the skilled players. The quarterback and running back in particular are 2 positions to be looking at as we get started tonight, where, of course, obviously they're much like pitchers in baseball. They have a hand in, they touch the football on almost every play, but both of these players starting tonight will be taking over. It's their first game as the starter. And that's, of course, the Wakiva side.
So again, Olympia winning the toss and deferring. That means Wakiva will be on offense first here in the first half. And Neil, as I said at the top, this is the game where everything is made up and the points don't matter. So none of the stats will go down, as please welcome to the field your Wakiva High School Mustangs.
Yeah, and so on that, to piggyback on the points don't matter, Mark. Whenever you say that, I always think of Drew Carey, Ryan Stiles, and Colin Montgomery. That's regulars there on the old Whose Line Is It Anyway show. So take a little detour here as we're just a few seconds away from kicking off the 2025 season. And as you have mentioned, Mark, of course, Mark is also our public address announcer, the only PA announcer that Wakiva High School has ever known. So if you hear him talking, repeating himself, that's why. Or you might just hear him in the background. And as you said, both for your PA and then as my partner, Olympia will be kicking off. And that is Preston Cruz Torren, the 5'10", 165-pound senior. Back deep for Wakiva is Jamie Smith. And Eric Moore. And one of the things to look out for, too, see in year 2, if they've improved this under Coach Gabriel, Wakiva was not a particularly physical team last year. So, of course, it doesn't mean you're going to have a bad season, doesn't mean you're going to lose a game, but certainly life is a lot easier if you can exert that physicality in the first few minutes, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. Momentum is everything, particularly at the high school level. We talk so much about how these games are as much mental as they are physical. These players, of course, have been practicing together during off-season conditioning. Many of them played together during the Spring Classic and the practices that led up to that. But really, this is the first opportunity, certainly since May, that they've had to face off against another team and actually work together outside of a controlled practice situation. So this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you find out whether your practice has in fact been working. And the kickoff is out of the end zone for a touchback. Mustangs will take over at the 20-yard line with 1st and 10 for the opening possession of the first half.
And we are underway for the 2025 season. That's Joshua Scherer, who just kicked it off for Wakiva. They'll be taking over 1st and 10 at the 20. So again, we'll see what Coach Gabriel and his staff have drawn up in year 2 as we start. So quarterback lines him up, one back set, got used to that last season. The handoff, straight up the middle, get those legs grinding and moving. And at quarterback, that's Justin Sessler, number 7. It'll be about 2 yards.
That's Justin Sessler handing off to Jaden St. George for the opening run of the game. It's worth 1 yard. That will put the ball on the 21-yard line and bring up 2nd and 9.
What's the number for the running back? 3. 2nd and 9. They remain in that one-back set. 4 receivers, a handoff again. This is George again. Tries to weave his way through and might have even fumbled that. Certainly looks like Olympia thinks so. And yes, they did after the 1 yard gain.
St. George is fumbled, and Ryder Flynn makes the recovery for the Titans. So they will take over with excellent field position right at the edge of Wakiva's red zone at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 Olympia.
So as good a start as possible for Olympia, as bad a start as possible for Wakiva. Second play, Olympia looking 20 yards from taking a 7-0 lead.
So, Neil, the Mustangs, I think, tried to outthink the field there. That was a clever little trick play handoff, a little fake action there to St. George. The problem is he fooled St. George, too.
Yeah, counter motion fooled St. George. Olympia goes back to work with Arrington.
Almost got sacked, and the second time is the charm. Josiah Arrington goes down that's Noble Davis, goes down at the hands of Josiah Greer with the Mustang sack. That'll be a loss of 5 yards. Make it 6 on the TFL, and it brings up 2nd and 16 for the Titans.
So at the moment, Wakiva getting some of that momentum back. The 5-yard sack, Davis steps back. Nice little swing pass. Got some room to run and operate. Rumbling and stumbling ahead. That'll be a first down for Olympia inside the 10-yard line.
Davis completes to Matthew Haynes, who goes around the outside corner and picks up the Titan first down. Ball is spotted at the 18-yard line for a pickup of 8. The 8-yard line for a pickup of 18 yards. 1st and goal, Olympia.
So Olympia took over at the 20 in the shadow of the goalpost. Now they're knocking on the door. Out of the one-back set, the handoff, quick handoff. That's Haynes. He has nowhere to go. Stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Haynes on the carry. Taken out by Luganson Morency of the Mustang defense. A loss of 3 on the play. That brings up 2nd and goal from the 11-yard line.
So, of course, Olympia already in field goal range. And they'll remain in field goal range. Nothing
Noble
doing
Davis
again.
is hurried by Braylon Bowie, and the ball falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line.
So first 3rd down situation of the season for both these teams. Wakiva's first on defense, Olympia's first on offense. And now they're going to stay in that one-back set, but they got 5 receivers. That's Olympia. Of course, Olympia in their traditional white jerseys with the kind of a cross between blue and green. Davis steps back, under pressure, gets rid of the ball quickly, finds his man, able to elude one defender in a second, and he picked up some extra yards, but he's still, I believe, about 2 yards short of the goal line on
Pass
4th
is
down.
complete from Noble Davis to Eric Weems Jr., and that gets the ball to the 4-yard line and brings up 4th and goal for the Titans.
So a 7-yard gain, and as you just heard Mark say, 4th and goal. So first major decision for Travis Gabriel, and he's going to roll the dice. He's going to try the touchdown. And now they're going with 4 receivers and a tight end. Trips on the left, single on the right, one back set. That's Gustav, the sophomore, lining up in the backfield. Davis out of the shotgun, throws it up, and it's picked. No, dropped. Either way, it's Wakiva possession. Give credit to the defense. They came up big, stuffing Olympia after taking over the possession at the 20-yard line.
Pass intended for Stills is broken up by Matthew Beecham in the end zone and falls incomplete. That turns the ball over on downs to the Mustangs. So, Neil, for as bad as things could have gone for Wakiva on their opening possession, the defense comes up and bails them out, and so Olympia gets nothing for their 20-yard line field position to start their opening drive, and Wakiva got away with one.
Yeah, and if you were a script writer, we've just seen the highest of highs and the lowest of lows for both these teams. The highest of highs for Olympia taking over at the 20, the lowest of low for Wakiva. And now, of course, Wakiva, the highest of highs, keeping Olympia out of the end zone, and the lowest of low for Olympia not being able to score after taking over at the 20. So Wakiva, first and 10 at the 2. And this is certainly the downside, or the other side of the coin. If you're Wakiva, you're right in the shadow of your own goal post now at the 2-yard line. Can't afford to make a mistake. Your quarterback, Justin Sessler, the junior, he's going to be lining up right on that goal plane. And the running backs are going to be in the end zone. So first and 10 from the 2-yard line for Wakiva. Wakiva looking to improve on a 3-7 record last year. And they're going to go conservative, but not. They were going to go conservative. We have a penalty.
No, actually, I don't think we do. I think it's a timeout.
Oh, and a timeout. So it's after 6.
The Titans request their first timeout of the first half.
Did you say the ball's after 6?
No, I'm saying that's it should be first and 15. That's at 15 yards.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was a penalty. Okay, so
They're inside the 10.
okay. So we actually did have a penalty and a timeout. Now the penalty, it's not much yardage. It's just going to be 1 yard. It's half the distance to the goal line. So the situation doesn't really change for Wakiva in terms of being in the shadow of the goal post. But of course, 1 yard given is still 1 yard given. You don't want to give up
Well,
1
yeah,
yard.
and again, as you and I talk a lot, Neil, throughout the season, this is the thing that makes the coaches, Gabriel, pull their hair out, is those dead ball penalties that, it's one thing if you make a mistake in the course of play, but the dead ball penalties are really just what kill you.
And the Olympia score.
The ball is intercepted in the end zone by Dylan Robinson, and that will put the Titans on the board 6-0 with 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
What's Sessler? Who intercepted that?
21, Robinson.
So give Dylan Robinson, the 6'2", 185-pound senior defensive back, the INT. And there again, as I mentioned, of course, that did start. Wakiva did bail themselves out with a fine defensive stand, but really you can go back to not being able to get that ball past the 20 and Olympia starting over. We have played 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and all 3 minutes and 20 seconds have been inside the Wakiva 20-yard line. And that's just a very difficult situation for any quarterback trying to lead a team out from that 1 yard line. And certainly, as we mentioned, Sessler, his first start ever, and you can certainly see the inexperience there as Robinson jumped right in front of that pass, read Sessler's eyes. And a 6-0 lead for Olympia as James Metzger will attempt to make it 7-0. We do have a penalty.
Flag on the play. Encroachment called against the Mustang defense. That's half the distance to the goal and a replay of the try.
So 2 plays, 2 penalties for Wakiva. Actually 3 plays and 2 penalties. As Metzger lines up. Snap, ball down, kick up. And no good to the left. A low liner does not find the mark. And the score remains 6-0 in favor of Olympia. 8:40 remaining in the first quarter.
The 2-point try does not convert, and so the score remains 6-0. 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first period.
So, Mark, while we got this break, and you talked about it on that first Wakiva possession with the handoff, which led to the fumble. Perhaps Wakiva outthought the room, and I think that's what happened there again at the 1 yard line, trying to surprise Olympia with a quick one-step drop pass, and instead it was Wakiva who paid the price instead of Olympia.
Yeah, again, Wakiva just has not taken care of the ball on offense. And
2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
Not just 2 possessions, but 3 plays?
4 plays. 4 plays.
4 plays, 2 turnovers.
So, and not only has it just been 4 plays for Wakiva, but Olympia about as efficient in terms of the scoring as possible. They've run 5 plays and scored a touchdown. Of course, they had 4 plays on that first possession as Wakiva tried to bring it up here, get some good field position. That's Matthew Beecham. He takes it up to around the 25, 30-yard line.
For the Mustangs. He picks up about 10 yards on the return, and that will pull the ball up to the 22-yard line. The Mustangs will take over from there with 1st and 10.
Okay, so not quite as far as originally thought. But just to finish my thought, Mark, really that touchdown was also set up by the fact that Olympia moved that ball all the way down to the 2-yard line. And they have not, and again, if you wanted to categorize this in some type of hierarchy, you could put everything under the fact that so far for the first 3.5 minutes, every play from scrimmage has been run inside the Wakiva 20-yard line. So Olympia has not had to really put in much of an effort in terms of moving the ball. In the meantime, this is Sizzler, the quarterback draw. He'll do some shaking and baking on the draw to the left side, pick up about 3 yards. Wakiva back to the run. 2025 season. This is a preseason kickoff classic. Every team plays one of these the week before the regular season starts. Both these teams looking to improve on subpar records last year. And it was actually 4 yards gained by Sizzler, so it'll be 2nd and 6 from the Wakiva 26. Wakiva 3 and 7 under Doug Gabriel, first year. A 4 and 6 record for Olympia under Travis Gabriel. They made the playoffs, winning record a couple seasons before that. Out of the shotgun, one back set. The quick pass from Sizzler, he finds Beecham, and Beecham tried to do some juking and jiving. The Olympia defense, and in particular Colton Choley, the linebacker, would have none of it. So it's a completed pass, but a very short pass, and it'll bring up 3rd and medium range. A 2-yard gain. So Wakiva now from its own 28, looking at 3rd and 4. And this is Wakiva's first 3rd down situation of the season, as well as this game. Trailing 6-0, just under 7 minutes, first quarter. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. Quick handoff, inside handoff. That was Miller, the senior, taking that quick handoff, and immediately nowhere to go as the Wakiva or the Olympia front 4 pounces. And so Wakiva will be forced to punt after the 1-yard gain. Clock keeps ticking at Mustang Field. I'm Neil Fisher, along with my partner Mark Barchi, who's also the public address announcer and our producer. Want to send a shout out and a thanks, give some credit to our broadcasting production students under the leadership of Miss Apple. We got them operating the camera, and they're doing a fine job so far. And now I believe we have a timeout called by Wakiva with 5:50 first quarter. So Coach Gabriel instructing his troops. Over to the left. Olympia, the 6-0 lead. Dylan Robinson, the 6'2" defensive back, senior, jumping in front of a Justin Sizzler pass. Right on the goal line, maybe the 1-yard line, for the touchdown in that 6-0 lead. So Olympia will receive the ball again with that.
Welcome back to Mustang Field. We apologize for the brief technical interruption there. We had a crash with our broadcast production computer, but we got it right back online. All you've missed is that Wakiva took an illegal substitution penalty, did not succeed at converting, and ended up kicking the ball away. Olympia lost 1 on their first play of their possession to make it 2nd and 11. Penalty on the play, and is holding called against the Titan offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, and a replay of 2nd down.
And that's a reprieve for Wakiva. So, of course, Mark, as you said, you didn't miss much, but this drive did begin at about the 32-yard line. Actually, Jakari Jackson with an excellent return. He fielded the ball at about the 40-yard line on the punt and ran down to the 32-yard line. Now it's 2nd and 13 from the 38-yard line. And we've been seeing this here early, the quick screens from Noble Davis going left and right That one was to Christopher Monroe, the junior. So Olympia needs to move the ball up to the 22-yard line. And they're at the 35, so it's 3rd and 13. After the 7-yard gain, Davis out of that shotgun, going deep down that right sideline, one-on-one coverage, and picked off.
Intercepted in the end zone by number 9, Matthew Beecham. That'll be a touchback, and the Mustangs will take over at their own 20-yard line.
So Matthew Beecham, he's been the MVP so far for Wakiva. Still only 8 minutes into this ball game, but certainly without Beecham, it might be 21-0. The defensive back knocking down the pass on that first possession in the end zone, preventing a touchdown there. And of course, this play coming up with the INT, going side by side, step for step, down that right sideline with the powerful Olympia wide receivers. Wakiva down 6-0 as they take possession, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 3:11 remaining in the first quarter, the preseason kickoff classic for 2025. Wakiva's 3rd possession. They've yet to move the ball past their own 20-yard line. And of course, as soon as I say that, they're now at the 25-yard line, albeit it was a penalty.
Encroachment called against the Titan defense. That's a 5-yard donation to the Mustang cause.
And
it'll bring up 1st and 5.
So 1st and 5, as you just heard Mark say, short distance for their first down. Sisler steps back, dumps the ball off, and again, the Olympia secondary and linebacking crew, they certainly have looked good here in the early going, holding Wakiva's receiving core. Wakiva's had 3 or 4 completions, but they have not been able to move the ball after the catch. Short distance, and this will be a 3-yard gain. So that'll bring up 2nd and 2. Shortest distance Wakiva's had to move the ball for the first down so far. Wakiva needing to get to the 30-yard line for the first down, and actually it's at the 29. So it's actually 2nd and 1. A 5-yard gain on the previous catch. Handoff. And motoring around that right side, that's number 21, Tyson Miller. And he's actually still down. If you look at that far on the near sideline, slightly to the left, you can see he's being tended to by the athletic training crew. He went down as soon as he crossed over into the out-of-bounds side. In the meantime, though, it is a 7-yard gain, and Wakiva's first down of this game in the 2025 season. At least that's one of those plays that will give Wakiva some breathing room, gives them something to build on with that first down.
Yeah, absolutely. Wakiva's not had a lot go well for them on offense other than Olympia's penalties, so that's certainly nice to see Wakiva earn some of their own forward progress on those last couple plays, and now we're going to get yet even more laundry on the field.
And Wakiva will get 5 more yards donated to their cause, as you like to say, Mark. For another 1st and 5. Ball moved to the Wakiva 41, the farthest advancement for Wakiva as we near the end of the first quarter. Sizzler back again. Now he's running, looking for some room. There's a flag, and Sizzler going down. Gained about 3 yards, but most likely that's a holding call. And, yep, there it is.
Flag on the play, holding called against the Mustang offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot on a replay of 1st down.
And you can also credit that penalty to Olympia's front defensive line, forcing Sizzler to have to run, unscheduled to run, and causing confusion in the Wakiva backfield, leading to that holding call. So we began 1st and 10 at the Wakiva 36 on this set of downs. Run 2 plays, and when all said and done, it's still 1st and 10 at the Wakiva 36. And actually, excuse me, it's 1st and 12. And actually, excuse me.
Yeah, it should be 1st and 15 because it was
Okay.
10 minus 5 plus 10.
Okay, so
If
the
I
ball's
remember my
at
7th grade algebra, I believe that is.
the ball's at the 31. Sizzler runs again. Somebody lost a helmet. And Sizzler will get some decent yardage here on 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd and medium range. Certainly.
Justin Sessler on the carry. Roundtree in on the stop, and that'll pick up some positive yardage for the Mustangs. It puts the ball at the 43-yard line.
So
That's a
certainly
gain of 12 on the play.
Wakiva now going no huddle.
2nd and 3.
And looks like there'll be another 1st down to Sizzler. Spins after motoring down that right sideline. And
Once
now
again, it's Justin Sessler on the carry. That is across midfield. Mustangs into Titans territory, and it's good for Mustang. 1st down.
So another 12-yard game, back-to-back 12-yard games for Justin Sissler and Wakiva. And for the first time in this game, in the season, Wakiva is in their opponent's territory on offense as they'll go to work from the Olympia 45-yard line. And now you're seeing the Wakiva bench with this drive, this possession, starting to show some energy and some life after falling behind 6-0. And a penalty.
Flag on the play.
And offsides against Wakiva.
Offsides on the Mustangs will be a 5-yard donation to the Titan cause. And it'll bring up 1st and 15 from midfield.
Ball exactly at the 15-yard or the 50-yard line. So Wakiva able to avoid the penalty on the first 2 possessions of the game. One Olympia, one Wakiva, but they've had 5 since then.
That takes us to the end of the 1st quarter. Six nothing the score. The Olympia Titans scoring on the interception, the touch in the end zone. And that's all we have for points so far tonight. 6-0 your score at the end of 12 minutes here at Mustang Field. So, of course, we switch sides at the end of the 1st quarter, so the ball will move from one side of the 50-yard line to the other side of the 50-yard line. Still 1st and 15 for the Mustangs coming back.
$6-0 lead for Olympia. A 1-yard touchdown return, interception return from Dylan Robinson. Wakiva trying to even it up. And this is the deepest that they've moved the ball. The first time they've moved it into Olympia territory, in fact. And that'll be another short gain. Actually, it'll make up those 5 yards they lost
Amir
on
Prince
the penalty.
on the catch, stopped by Dylan Robinson. No gain, or excuse me, back to the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 5 on the play. That brings up 2nd and 10.
Who caught that? 8? You said 8? So 2nd and 10 as Sizzler lines up his offense. Remaining in that one-back set. 4 receivers. And another run, this one a designed run. And that's actually...
Flag on the play.
That's actually Charlie Chooks, who's in number 4 at quarterback.
False start is called against the Mustang offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of 2nd down.
So the 6th penalty now for Wakiva. And that'll take it back to midfield in 2nd and 15. Just starting the second quarter, Wakiva trailing 6-0. And so far, Matthew Beecham has been the star for Wakiva. Could very easily be a 21-0 deficit if not for Matthew Beecham, the defensive lineman, the defensive back, as yet another penalty.
Dead ball prior to the snap. False start called against the Mustang offense. Another 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of 2nd down.
And now they're back in their own territory.
And again, Neil, this is going to be very frustrating to Coach Gabriel. Fortunately, it's preseason, but this is not what you want to see.
No.
2 false start penalties in a row.
And now Chuk will try to juke and jive, and the Olympia front 4 once again stuffs them, trying to run to that left side. No gain, and that will bring up 3rd and 15.
Chooks on the carry. Sanguine in on the stop, as well as Sholey and Britt. No gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 20 from the Mustangs' own 45-yard line.
Yeah, and this is why penalties are so frustrating. You have 2 5-yard penalties, and you're now looking at 3rd and 20 instead of 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, the odds are against you to begin with, but you add another 10 yards to that. Obviously, the odds are even longer. A Shuk now running right, rolling, looking for his man, and that ball was tipped. That was Carson Rutledge, the senior, getting a hand on that. Even if the ball was caught, though, it would have been short of a first down, going back again to the penalties effect.
Pass intended for Justin Sessler is broken up by Jakari Jackson, and that falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and 20 from the Mustangs' own 45-yard line.
So once again, Wakiva, even though this possession began with a lot of promise, Peters out, and Wakiva will have to punt the ball. 4 possessions, Wakiva unable to move the ball past the Olympia 45-yard line. .9:21, second quarter, 6-0 lead for Olympia. Dylan Robinson putting that 6 points on the board with an interception return. Had to just move 1 yard for it, and now it's going to take a Wakiva bounce. Goes out of bounds inside the 20, and actually it'll be at the 21.
At the 21-yard line, and that is where Olympia will take over with 1st and 10.
So nothing spectacular off that punt, but got the job done. You want to get the ball down around the 20-yard line. So Olympia 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line, looking to add to that 6-0 lead. As the sun descends on Mustang Field here in southeast Apopka, right next to the 429. You certainly know it's preseason, not only by the play mark, but it's 92 degrees outside. Oh, yeah. Long way to go for Olympia to score the touchdown. As ball's handed off, we got a flag on the play. Another flag.
Flag on the play.
As there was a lot of banging and pushing, and so as we await the call, Mustang Field play a quick one-step pass, but gets the job done, eats up some significant yardage. And now a timeout, 7:21, second quarter. As Olympia has moved into Wakiva territory for the third time tonight as the sun continues to set on Mustang Field. So, Mark, looking at the history of Orange County Public Schools, I like to think that there was a certain definite beginning and end of that era where you had really the number of schools almost doubled. Olympia opening in '96, I believe, was at the beginning, and Wakiva opening in 2007 towards the end of that era. As Davis in the one-back set. And he's going to take it himself, swings out to the right across the hash mark. Eludes a couple would-be tacklers, and he's close to the first down as Olympia continues to matriculate down the field, as Hank Strand liked to say.
On the carry, taken down by Josiah Arrington and Anthony Bello of the Mustang defense. That's good for a pickup of 5 yards. It puts the ball at the 36-yard line for 2nd and 5. But there is a flag on the play.
And it's against Olympia.
Holding is called against the Titan offense. It's 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It puts the ball at the 47-yard line, Titan territory.
Holding. So the holding cause, you just heard Mark say, it's Mark Barchi, our public address announcer, that moves the ball back to the Wakiva 47-yard line. And now 2nd and 16 for Olympia, the Titans. And they're going to try that left side. The quick strike. Nice job by the ball carrier. Juking and jiving, some shake and bake, picking up about an extra 3-4 yards at the end.
Stop made for the Mustangs by Matthew Beecham. Nelson Christian, and that puts the ball at the 37-yard line. Being a 10 on the play, 2nd and 6 coming up.
Handoff again. Straight ahead, nothing fancy there as Gustav just bowled through that Wakiva defense, and I don't believe it's going to be a first down.
Gustav on the carry. Tenarius Weston had the stop for the Mustangs. It is just short of first down yardage. That puts the ball at the 33-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and 1. A one-back set to the air. Davis goes, dropping back on, releases on the back, finds his man. That's Haynes, the slip screen, and he rumbles ahead into first down territory, plus some.
Matthew Haynes stopped by Jensen Simon after a pickup of the Titan first down and more. We have now passed the midpoint of the 2nd quarter, and so we'll pause for an official timeout. 5 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the first half, here in the preseason classic of season 19 from Mustang Field.
Ball at the 20. 5:48 remaining in the second quarter from Mustang Field, the 2025 Kickoff Classic, start of season 19 for Wakiva. They trail 6-0 to the Olympia Titans. What used to be a intra-district rival between these two rivals. 1st and 10 for Olympia at the Wakiva 20 as they continue to matriculate that ball down the field, to use Hank Stram's terminology. Nowhere to go on that carry, though.
Matthew Hayes on the carry, stopped by Marlon Perkins and Lucanson Morency for a loss of 2. That brings the ball back to the 22-yard line for 2nd and 12.
.5:16 remaining, and really this is very much what Wakiva's dodged game, as Davis unable to find his receiver, incomplete. They're trying to go into that second line of receivers. Could very easily be a 21 or 28-0 ball game. Olympia's had the ball 3 times, and all 3 times they've moved the ball no worse than Wakiva's 35-yard line. Matthew Beecham has been the star so far for Wakiva. He certainly brought his A game. We'll get to that in just a minute as Davis takes the snap. No handoff. He's going to the air, the left side. Another quick hitch pass. A very typical Travis Gabriel team. A lot of these quick 1- and 3-step drops, hitches, swings, and screens. Picking up 4 or 5 yards at a time consistently to set up 3rd and short. This, of course, will be a 1st down following the completion. Olympia with possession at the 10-yard line, so it is 1st and goal. Direct snap to Haynes. He slips and slides as he tried to cut back, but he was shut down by that defensive line of Wakiva.
Direct snap to Matthew Haynes, taken down by Avante Scott with the Mustang defense after a gain of 1. It'll bring up 2nd and goal for the Titans from the Mustang 9-yard line.
So Olympia threatening again. Could definitely make an argument that at least there's been a semblance of a threat on all 4 of their possessions. Ironically, though, their 6 points were scored on defense, an interception return, as once again a direct snap. That's Eric Weems, and he was swallowed up immediately and dropped. So Travis Gabriel, Olympia coach.
Beecham and Jaden Robinson will swallow up Eric Williams on that direct snap. And that results in a loss of 5 yards, brings the ball back to the 14-yard line. And now 3rd and goal.
So Travis Gabriel trying to catch Wakiva off guard, and the opposite effect. Now they are 3rd and goal. Lots of time for Davis. Now he tries to run, avoids the first couple of tackles, still on his feet, and now goes down back at around the original line of scrimmage, the 10-yard line.
Double Davis has to keep it for himself after that finding it in the secondary. Marlon Perkins has to stop for the Mustang defense. Picks up a gain of 4 yards, puts the ball back at the original line of scrimmage, the 10-yard line, and brings up 4th and goal.
And
we've seen this before. 4th and goal from the 10, and first time Olympia decided to go for it and was not successful.
This time they're going to kick the field goal, try to take the 9-0 lead. 2.5 minutes before halftime. Ibarra with the hold. Ball down, kick up. And this time it's between the posts and a 9-0 lead for the Olympia Titans. 2:18 before halftime. Yeah, that's. I couldn't see if it was 21 or 27.
I think there was 27 sure, right?
Joshua Scherer has the field goal from the 10-yard line.
27.
27-yard field goal for Shearer, and that puts the Titans up 9-0 over the Mustangs with 2 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
So a bit of irony statistic, 27-yard field goal from number 27. The bigger picture, though, Wakiva finds itself down 9-0, 2:18 before halftime. If you want to count the seconds, that's 138 seconds Wakiva has to come up with some kind of answer. That drive consisted of 79 yards. And 14 plays. So certainly Olympia made the most in terms of the plays, holding on to that ball. That was a well-earned 3 points as far as the number of plays and time of possession, as Shearer kicks the ball off again, and it'll be a touchback. So Wakiva will take over 5th possession of the game, 1st and 10, from their own 20-yard line, trailing 9-0. So this is the 2025 Preseason Kickoff Classic. As my partner, the other voice you're hearing, Mark Barchi. He's also our public address announcer, so he's not just talking to you. He's also informing the fans in attendance, which there's about 300 Wakiva on our side, about 100 on Olympia's side. As he likes to say, the points don't matter and it's all made up.
And also welcome to the 42 of you watching on YouTube and however many of you are watching on NFHS Network.
But still, this is a game where you learn a lot about your team and what they're capable and really their character and their personality. And so far, Wakiva, quite frankly, Mark, has not shown a lot. As much as we would like to be saying the otherwise.
Jaden St. George on the carry. Ryder Flynn and Joki Malve have the stop for the Titans. No gain on the play, and that will bring up 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 20-yard line.
Carry.
So, Neil, this is the beginning of season 19. You and I have been here for all of it. We've been broadcasting for, I don't know, probably about 12 of that.
Years.
With increasing capabilities each time. We want to thank Agatha Lee, goes by Apple, our broadcast production teacher, and her crew with Wakiva Digital Video Technology for partnering with us to make these broadcasts successful. And we're going to pause here as the Titans request their 2nd timeout of the first half. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining.
Charlie Chooks, the sophomore, remains in under center. The quarterback, of course, Justin Sessler, started the game. So Wakiva will be facing a 3rd and 5 when we return. The lone touchdown scored by Dylan Robinson on Wakiva's 2nd possession. It was an interception return. The first 8 minutes or so of this game was played. Every play from scrimmage, snap from scrimmage, was taken inside the Wakiva 20-yard line, and that made life very easy for Olympia, and in particular Dylan Robinson, intercepting a Justin Sisler pass virtually on the goal line. He will be officially credited with a 1-yard return, but all he really had to do was just take a breath, and he was in the end zone from where he intercepted it. And then the 27-yard field goal on the last possession by Shearer, and that's given a 9-0 lead to Olympia as Wakiva continues to exert some physicality with that running game. They have not been very successful.
Charles Chooks on the carry. Aiden Harris has the stop, and there is a late flag on the play.
And Chooks is also injured.
Dead ball
He's hopping.
after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. It's called against the Titan defense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, and it's enough for a Mustang first down.
And Chooks that was also injured on that play. I'm not sure if he's still, and now I see him. If you look over to your right, you can see him limping towards the sideline. Now he's limping back, so I would say if I was a betting man, it looks like Schutt's going to try to stay in, and now Coach Gabriel's escorting him to the sideline, giving him some encouragement. In the meantime, as you can see, our referees marking off those 15 yards against Olympia. Mustang Field, the site of this 2025 Preseason Kickoff Classic, right next to the 429.
First and 10 Mustangs from their own 39-yard line after the penalty is enforced. 65 seconds to go here in the first half.
And of course, that's the southeast side of Apopka. Sizzler's back in, and he's wrapped up immediately as we drop under a minute. So one thing I can say, Mark, and certainly if you're looking for a storyline, if you're doing broadcasts.
Sessler on the carry. Charles Roundtree III and Aiden Harris have the stop for a loss of 5 yards on the play. That takes the ball back to the 35-yard line. Brings up second and a long 14.
So if you're a Sports Center anchor and you're looking for a storyline, Mark, I would definitely say it's been the defensive lines of both these teams so far.
Yeah, honestly, neither one of these teams have a ton to hang their hat on offensively.
Yeah.
But what they lack in that, they've made up for on defense. And to your point, Neil, it's not just that the offense has been lackluster, which it has, but the defense of these teams has really shown as being outstanding, particularly for a preseason game.
Yeah, certainly the defense, and in particular the defensive linemen.
Flag on the play. Encroachment called against the Titan defense. 5-yard donation to the Mustang cause. Takes the ball just ahead of its original starting position. Puts the ball at the 40-yard line. And that'll be second and 9 now for the Mustangs.
And so 3 seconds left. This will obviously be without a penalty. Last play of the first half. Wakiva trailing 9-0. Both these teams looking to rebound from disappointing
Mustangs request
season.
their second timeout of the first half.
Both these teams looking to rebound from disappointing seasons. 3-7 for Wakiva, the first season under Coach Doug Gabriel. 4-6 for Olympia under Travis Gabriel. They had gone to the playoffs, winning record a couple of seasons before last season. And if you're new to high school football in Central Florida area, and if you caught that name Gabriel, yes, both these coaches are members of the Gabriel clan. They're brothers. Travis, the older of the two, both of them playing at UCF in the late 90s and early 2000s. Both going into the coaching ranks after their college days were done and graduating from UCF. Of course, UCF just about 20 minutes down the road from here. As the sun descends over Mustang Field in the 429 in southeast Apopka. One last play, barring a penalty. Sizzler lines his team up. Excuse me, that's Chooks. He's back in. Now he tries to run. And the good news is he wasn't hobbling. Didn't look like he was affected by the ankle issue he had a couple plays ago. The bad news is what it's been all the first half for the Wakiva offense. Nowhere to run, and that brings the first half to an end. 9-0 Olympia. Both teams have played very well, in particular the defensive line, but the defensive line for Olympia having the bigger impact. Dylan Robinson, a 6-yard interception return, 1 yard, and then the 27-yard field goal from Schur to set up that 9-0 lead at halftime.
That takes us to intermission here at the Preseason Classic. 9-0 is your score at the end of 24 minutes of preseason action. Once again, we want to remind those of you here in the stadium that we are live streaming, so if you have friends and family elsewhere in Apopka, on Olympia side of town, or anywhere in the world, and they would like to join us virtually, you can direct them to any of two places, either nfhsnetwork.com or the NFHS Network app on your favorite computer or mobile device, or we are simulcasting on YouTube. You do not need a subscription. You can do that absolutely free. Our channel name is Wakiva Sports. Go to youtube.com/Wakiva Sports, or search Wakiva Sports on the YouTube app with your favorite mobile device, and it should come right up. We hope that you'll join us virtually, not just tonight, but any game that you can't be here in person. We feature many of our varsity home games on both of the channels, and we use our Pixelot AI camera solution to stream pretty much anything from the gym or the stadium that we are not otherwise producing. So we appreciate your participation in that. Also, the band would like you to know that due to some systems changeovers with Orange County, they are not yet able to accept credit card purchases. They were using school pay last year. Orange County has transitioned to a new system. We do not have that set up yet, and so they are cash only tonight. We apologize for the inconvenience, but again, please make sure as you head to the concession stand that you raid your pockets for cash. We appreciate your understanding, and we hope that by the next home game we will have credit card sales online for the concession program. For those of you watching online, we are going to take a break here at Mustang Field, but don't go anywhere. We'd appreciate it if you just, mute the video if you feel like you need to, but we're going to run some ads, make some money for the next 15 minutes, and we'll be back with the third quarter from Mustang Field. As we, of course, our bands, not surprisingly, we've had exactly 1 week of school. Our bands do not have their halftime shows quite ready to go yet, but they are here performing in the stands, and we appreciate them being here, and we look forward to seeing their shows starting with the regular season. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Well, welcome back to Mustang Field, where it seems that because we didn't have any bands playing at halftime, they skipped the warm-up because they had plenty of time to warm up. So here we go, Olympia with the first possession of the second half.
Olympia also holding the 9-0 lead. And really, Mark, as I said throughout that first quarter, I'm Neil Fisher. The other voice you just heard was Mark Barchi. It's really been one of those games that Wakiva should be counting its blessings at halftime. They're only down 9-0.
Yeah, this could be a lot worse. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's been a lackluster performance at best for both these offenses. The defenses have played well, but it's been the Olympia defense, in particular the front four, that has really dominated and had the impact on this game. As once again, we've seen this throughout the night, trying to bull ahead. Nothing doing there, slam down at the
Matthew Haynes
offensive
on
line.
the run. Jaden Robinson has the stop for the Mustangs. And yeah, Neil, from Wakiva's perspective, it really comes down to weakness on the O-line and penalties. I mean, that's really where a lot of the damage has been done. I talked with Coach Biaggi during the break, and he had mentioned to me that there is only one senior on the O-line. So they are a very young group, and so this is their first opportunity to play together other than the Spring Classic.
And Noble Davis, the incomplete pass.
Pass intended for Davis falls incomplete. Secondary coverage courtesy of Jakari Bellamy. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Titans from their own 15-yard line.
So Wakiva's had 5 possessions, Olympia only 4, and you might be asking, actually only 3, you might ask how that's happened. Well, that was because the first 6 points, the first touchdown, was scored at the end of Wakiva's second possession. As Davis drops back on 3rd and 10, finds his man wide open. Edwards, he's still rumbling up the field, goes down in Wakiva territory, and there's a flag as well at the Olympia 45. So this certainly is going to be a big gainer.
Pass complete to Kadon Edwards.
That flag.
Jakari Bellamy finally had the stop after a big gain, but there is a flag on the play.
The flag coming down well after the completion.
Block in the back is called against the Titans offense. That penalty marker is down at the 45-yard line. And so the Mustangs catch a break on the penalty as much of that yardage will come back. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. That pulls the ball back to the 35-yard line. It's still enough for a Titan first down, but it keeps it in Olympia territory.
15-yard gain. So, again, getting back to what I was saying, the touchdown scored by the defense, it was an interception return credited as a 1-yarder. As, again, second consecutive play, Monroe picking up the reception. That'll be another first down.
Christopher Monroe on the reception. Jaden Robinson had the stop for the Mustangs. That puts the ball just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line, and it's enough for a Titan first down.
14-yard gain. So Dylan Robinson, 1-yard return, interception return, has another flag. That was Davis picking up the ball. Bad snap. And really, he intercepted the ball like about as close to the goal, the plane of the end zone as you can without actually scoring. He just basically had to breathe, and he was in the end zone.
Dead ball. False start called against the Titans offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and a replay of first down.
And that was set up by the fact that the first 3 possessions that Wakiva had, the first 3 possessions of the game, every down was played with inside Wakiva's 20-yard line. And then right before halftime, with about a minute and a half remaining, Joshua Scherer nailing a 27-yard field goal, capping off a 79-yard 14-play drive for Olympia. So again, Mark, where we started.
Jakari Jackson has the ball at the 44-yard line. Another penalty marker is down. Holding called against the Titans. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. And a replay of first down.
So the first 4 possessions of the game, both Olympia and Wakiva, all their plays, all the downs were inside the 20-yard line mark, going back to where we started the second half with our commentary. Wakiva could be in a much bigger hole as that ball knocked down.
Pass is tipped away by the Mustangs' Adrian Jackson and falls incomplete. That brings up 2nd and 24 for the Titans.
And that really started Wakiva receiving the opening kickoff. Their second play from scrimmage at the 20-yard line, a fumble recovered by Olympia. They got out of that mess when Matthew Beecham knocked down a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line, the pass in the back corner of the end zone. And he then came up with an interception on the next Olympia possession. And that's the way the game started. And now Olympia starting to exert some passing muscles.
Eric Weems Jr. has the catch. Adrian Jackson on the stop. That puts the ball up to the 46-yard line of Titan territory for a pickup of 11, and it brings up 3rd and 13 for the Titans.
Who caught that? So 3rd and short, 3 yards to be exact. Davis drops back. Good passing coverage. Good blocking up front. And that ball just came out of Jackson's hands there. Might have heard some footsteps.
Shakari Jackson was the intended receiver. Broken up by Avante Scott of the Mustangs secondary. That pass falls incomplete, and it brings up 4th and 13 for the Mustangs. Titans, excuse me.
So Wakiva does exactly what it needs to do, starting off the second half trailing 9-0. Wasn't the prettiest of stops, but they do get the stop at the end. And now the ball takes an Olympia bounce, picked up there. A little hop skip. And Wakiva will take over with solid field position at their own 35.
A little bit of frayed nerves at the end there.
So just under
Mustang
9
return
minutes.
puts the ball at the 30-yard line. They take over from there with 1st and 10.
So Wakiva trailing 9-0. Another telltale stat of this game is the time of possession. Now, of course, we don't keep statistics up here, not the time of possession during the game. We just don't have the manpower for it. But if you did watch the first half as the quarterback goes down, and that is Russell Britt breaking through and taking Wakiva's quarterback down to the ground. That is Chooks, the quarterback for Wakiva. It's going to be a big loss as well, but about 15 minutes, about 16 minutes of time of possession for Olympia compared to 8 for Wakiva. So, and again, that's despite the fact that Wakiva had more possessions. So another telltale stat.
2nd and 18 coming up for the Mustangs from their own 22-yard line.
And that also ties to the fact that Wakiva began this game, its first 3 possessions, unable to move the ball past its own 20-yard line, while Olympia ran every play inside the Wakiva 30-yard line. Now Chooks running right, trying to turn upfield, and an excellent lateral play by number 9, Charles Roundtree, getting over there and cutting off that corner from Chooks. So it'll be 3rd and long for Wakiva. Unfortunately, this is what we saw during the first half from the Wakiva perspective, unfortunately.
Pickup of 2 will bring up 3rd and 16 for the Mustangs.
Just under 7 minutes, third quarter from Mustang Field. Chooks goes to the air, and even if that ball had been completed, the intended receiver was Adams. Would have been a long
intended
way.
for DeAndre Adams falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and 16 for the Mustangs.
And unfortunately, Wakiva will have to punt once again. So mentioned several times now in the first half, in the beginning of the second half, Mark, Wakiva just unable to move the ball, unable to get the ball past their own 20-yard line in the first 3 possessions. But another way that it could be looked at, Wakiva's had 6 possessions, and they've only been able to move past their own 30 in one of those 6 possessions. So certainly, Mark, we've talked about this, ended the first half talking about it. Really, it's been the defense.
The Mustangs request their first timeout of the second half.
For the Wakiva perspective, it's been the defense which has kept this score to 9-0. The offense looking very lackluster, to put it mildly. Certainly the defense looking much more coherent, much more in sync, certainly much more further along in their development, not only an individual and skill-wise, but as a unit in being able to play cohesively.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. I mean, the Mustangs, again, offensive line struggling here. You see, and they've gone nothing but backwards on this drive. And again, it's a young offensive line that needs obviously to build some experience, needs to build a little trust in each other, needs to get a little more training and conditioning under their belt.
Yeah, and I wouldn't just say physical conditioning. You know, we usually think physical, but I think the emotional and mental conditioning, get used to the mental aspect for 48 minutes. Blocked. Picked up. And Olympia once again will have the ball in prime position to add to that score inside the 20-yard line.
The punt is blocked and will land well inside the red zone at what looks to be about the 16-yard line. And so the Titans will take over from there with 1st and 10.
So Wakiva's defense being called on one more time to put the cape on and play Superman, or if you prefer Batman. In either case, they're now up against the wall. The 5th time tonight that Olympia's moved the ball inside the Wakiva 10-yard line or 20-yard line, and it looks like this time they're finally weathering as charging ahead inside that 5-yard line. Olympia does. And it'll be 1st and goal.
Christian Gustav on the carry, and he is finally stopped for the Mustangs by Amir Prince and Jakari Bellamy. 1st and goal.
Handoff into the end zone. Score the touchdown for Olympia. 15-0, 5:57 in the third quarter. Set up again by Wakiva miscues and allowing Olympia to take over possession inside the 20-yard line. So Noble Davis charging into the end zone, 5 yards for that touchdown. And now on is Sure to kick the PAT. Snap, ball down, kick up. And 16-0, 5:57
Noble Davis
third quarter.
has the 5-yard touchdown run, followed by the Joshua Shearer extra point. And that will make it a 16-0 game for the Titans with 5 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
So can't stress enough, Mark. That was the third possession that Olympia began inside the Wakiva 32-yard line. And, again, I don't think you need to be a football guru or Vince Lombardi or more recently Nick Saban to understand when you're beginning possessions inside the opponent's 32-yard line. It's like a dam. You might be able to put your finger in and hold the leaking for a little bit, but eventually that hole is going to turn into busting through the dike, the dam.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. I don't have the stats in front of me, but just from the eye test, as you like to say, Olympia's average field position start has been far superior to Wakiva's.
Yeah, in fact, once again, just want to point out we don't have a statistical team here. Unfortunately, that's one of the perils of high school. We're not
particularly in preseason. We're hopeful that over the course of the season we will build up a staff of student assistants here, and maybe we can do some stats and some additional camera angles and whatnot. But for the preseason classic, we've got 2 cameras, we've got 2 announcers. Not bad.
But to your point, Mark, piggybacking on what you were saying, I would not be surprised if when I do go home and I tabulate the stats that Olympia's starting field position would actually be around the 50-yard line.
Yeah, if not entirely Mustang territory.
So Wakiva will try again, try to get this ball past the 30-yard line, and that's St. George trying to move upfield.
St. George on the return has about 7 or 8 yards. That puts the ball at the 15-yard line. Wakiva takes over from there with 1st and 10.
.5:48 remaining in the third quarter.
So, Neil, by contrast, Wakiva's field position, while they have had a couple of good ones, they have been stranded deep in their own territory quite a lot. So I think it's not just that Olympia has had particularly outstanding field position, but the difference between Olympia's and Wakiva's average starting field position, certainly, to your point, we could be in running clock territory by now if it weren't for the defensive line.
So Chuk.
High snap.
And that's actually Sizzler back in a high snap, and that play went south immediately. Sizzler having no option but to run.
Justin Sessler on the carry. Carson Rutledge and Colton Sholey are on the stop, and that will be a TFL. That takes the ball back to the 12-yard line. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 coming up for the Mustangs. O-line problems continue for the Mustangs, starting with the center. And then, of course, the Titans cutting through the rest of the O-line like a knife through butter. And this play is over before it starts. Laundry on the field. Offsides Mustangs. And that'll be 5 yards from the previous spot.
So a bad situation grows worse.
2nd and 18 coming up now for Wakiva. And Neil, this is not the first time we've seen Wakiva knocking on the door of their own end zone.
Yep, literally the shadow of the end zone now that it's nighttime at Mustang Field. And again, Wakiva's offense, young, inexperienced. They've shown very little tonight against this Olympia foursome, I guess you could call it. The defense in general has played well, but it's really started in terms of the impact and setting the tone with the front 4 playing out of that 4-3. Wakiva will try to rush that ball again straight into the teeth of that Olympia defense, and a flag as well as
Christian
a short
Gustav
gain.
on the carry, DeAndre Adams on the stop. A late flag on the play.
So taking a look at these two teams' schedule, of course we've mentioned it throughout the game. Both these teams looking to rebound for very disappointing 2024 seasons. Wakiva, the first season under Doug Gabriel, going 3-7.
Dead ball after the play. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness called against the Mustangs. Additional penalty. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness called against the Titans. Those will be offsetting penalties.
3-7 last year under Doug Gabriel, first year. The Titans, Olympia, 4-6 last year under Travis Gabriel. That followed a couple of playoff bursts and winning records. So both these teams looking to rebound. And certainly they will have a familiar schedule, as familiar as possible. As they like to say, familiarity breeds contempt and sometimes even comfort. Both these teams playing the same exact teams. The only difference is the schedule, the dates that they're playing in terms of the week, but none of these teams, none of the games are more than 2 weeks beyond where they played last year. And we'll get back to that in just a moment. Sizzler rolls left, looking for some blocks, and he's cut down immediately as he tried to turn upfield. A slow developing
Justin
play.
Sizzler on the carry. Jakari Jackson has the stop. And takes the ball to the 10-yard line. Brings up 4th and 15.
And so looking at the schedules, first we'll take a look at Olympia. They begin the season against Horizon, Ocoee at home. They then hit the road against Boone in week 3, Timber Creek in week 4, Lake Nona. They come back home week 5. Week 6, the big showdown against Dr. Phillips. Of course, Dr. Phillips, state powerhouse, always a state championship contender as Wakiva gets ready to punt out of its end zone. And this play is not going anywhere. Can they just get it out of the end zone? And yeah, I believe they did. And the pocket just collapsed immediately as soon as the ball was stopped. And now Olympia, going back to that dam reference, the water certainly seems to be busting through now.
The punt does not successfully get off, and so the Mustangs will turn the ball over on downs inside the 10-yard line, about the 5. First and goal, Titans.
So now worst case scenario for Olympia, you're looking at a field goal attempt. So finishing out Olympia's schedule, of course, Dr. Phillips on September 26th. They then play Celebration at home and West Orange at home, or West Orange on the road. And then West Orange at home on October 17th. As they will not, Olympia not able to get into the end zone this time. Actually, they'll lose some yardage with the 16-0 lead. And
Eric Weems on the carry. Stop made by Josiah Greer. Loss of 5 on the play. Second and goal from the 10.
And then Olympia closes out the season against East Ridge in Winter Park on the road. Olympia, member of Class 7A District 9. And now it will be 3rd and long. Wakiva's defense coming up big again.
Pass intended for Kadon Edwards, broken up by Avante Scott. That pass falls incomplete, and it brings up 3rd down and goal from the 10-yard line for the Titans.
So 2:14 third quarter. Noble Davis lines his teammates up. He's going with the one-back set behind him now. Quick pass into the end zone and no one there. But there's a flag. One-on-one coverage along that right sideline.
Pass intended for Stever Moore is overthrown and out of the end zone. That would provisionally bring up 4th down. But there is a flag on the play. Here's Tom Becker for the call. Pass interference is called against the Mustangs. That'll be half the distance to the goal and a replay of third down. So in high school football, you do get the replay of the down, but you do not get an automatic first down like you would in the NFL for a pass interference call.
Yeah, and half the distance is 5 yards. So
correct.
Olympia, Noble Davis, another chance to get it in from 5 yards out. The handoff, Powers straight ahead, and did not get into the end zone. Yes, nope. Looked like he went down at the 1 yard line. So yeah, it'll be 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, 1:46 remaining. 16-0 for Olympia, looking to add to that lead. One back set. Davis goes to the air, the quick pass, finds his man on the plane of the end zone. And that was Braylon Howard hauling in the touchdown and the 22-0 lead for Olympia. So again, field position, the key to this drive and this score. Only 5 yards, Olympia had to move the ball. And correction, that was Braylon Howard, the 6' 1" senior tight end. And now Shearer in. To try to make this a 23-point lead as we near the end of the third quarter. And he won't get a chance to kick it. And Wakiva snuffs that out. So Wakiva coming up with a couple of preventing Olympia from a couple of PATs. That's probably the highlight of the game for them. Still down.
Braylon Howard had the 5-yard touchdown. The try is no good, and so that puts us at a 22-0 ball game with 1 minute, 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
It wasn't a deliberate. It fell apart. I didn't see what happened that forced him to have to run with it. So as I was saying, Mark, probably the high point of tonight's game in terms of something you can look at and get excited about, like one specific play, is the 2 failed PATs by Olympia, Wakiva special teams, forcing Olympia into situations where they tried to run the ball in. Other than that, it's been a very disappointing night for Wakiva as we near the end of the third quarter. And that's actually a fumble. Wakiva does maintain possession. Good job by the up man there to recover quickly, keep his poise. St. George, that was.
Jaden St. George keeps possession for the Mustangs. And one of their better field positions of the night so far at the 38-yard line. That's where they'll start.
As a matter of fact, Mark, that is their best starting field position of the night. So, sure, Chooks will lead Wakiva's offense back out onto the field, trailing now 22-0. Handoff inside, a skip, a hop, left to right. St. George not getting a lot of room to operate, though, despite the effort. Be about 2 yards. Moves the ball up to the 41-yard line, second and long for Wakiva. Continues to run that one-back set. St. George again, nowhere to go. This time he isn't even able to get to the line of scrimmage. Dragged down in the
St. George on
backfield.
back-to-back carries. This one will take the ball backwards to the 38-yard line and bring up 3rd and 12.
So looking at Wakiva's schedule, we gave you Olympia's. They open next week on the road against district rival Edgewater. And then they'll be at home against West Orange. Of course, West Orange always a geographical rivalry. West Orange and Wakiva always in the same district for about the first 10 years of Wakiva's existence. When they moved down to class, when Wakiva was in 7A. Wakiva's been in 6A for about 10 years now. Wakiva then hit the road, go out to Horizon, another district rival. Of course, Horizon in, I believe, their 4th season now. Wakiva then has 3 straight home games. September 12th against Eustis, September 19th against Dr. Phillips, and September 26th against Oviedo. And then they hit the road for 3 of their last 4 games. Evans on October 10th. They're at home against Jones. On October 17th, the 24th against Lake Howell on the road. And then, of course, the Tater Bowl this year being held at Apopka. That's October 30th. Usually it's the first Friday in November. This year, October 30th, day before Halloween.
That takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter with 12 minutes to go. Mustangs still looking for the end zone. 22-0 is the score in favor of the Titans at the end of 36 minutes. And for those of you here in the stadium, we'll remind you that if you are depending on a ride to get home from tonight's game and you have not already done so, please give them a call. Let them know we are headed into the 4th quarter and they should be on their way to campus to pick you up. We appreciate your cooperation helping our administrators to close the facility and get home to their families in a timely manner after the conclusion of tonight's contest. Thank you for your cooperation.
So we move into the 4th quarter, and what's been a dominant performance by the Olympia Titans, despite being the road team, currently enjoying a 22-0 lead over Wakiva. Wakiva looking for its first points of the season, and won't happen on that play, as DeAndre Adams, the intended receiver, on 3rd and long.
Also, those of you here in the stadium, we want to let you know that food items are buy one, get one until the end of the night. We are away next week, and they just won't keep until our next home game. So buy one, get one free. Everything must go at the concession stand. But please, again, keep in mind they are cash only tonight. We appreciate your understanding.
And for those of you who are at home, please feel free to go into the kitchen and get yourself a snack.
So, Mark, again, we've talked about it throughout the night. I won't give you the stats, the specific stats here, because I've mentioned them probably at least a dozen times. But really, you can go back to the whole idea, and the theme of this game has been field possession. There's been a number of reasons why, but you can put it under the umbrella. Wakiva's field position has not been, again, I don't know exactly what it is that I believe that kick was partially blocked. And escaping a couple of would-be tacklers along the sideline, making something out of nothing. That's
Eric Weems Jr. on the return for the Titans, and he gets back into Mustang territory before being shoved out of bounds. Ball is spotted at the 45, make it the 47-yard line, for a net of 8 yards on the punt.
So going back, again, to complete my thought, Mark. Wakiva's starting position probably inside their own 20-yard line, while Olympia's has been around the 50-yard line. So we don't have a, as we get a
Mustangs request
timeout.
their second timeout of the second half, with 11 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the ballgame.
So we don't have a statistical team here backing us up, but I am going by just my memory, my eyesight. And yeah, I would guess that Wakiva's, I don't think if you've watched the game, I'm saying anything surprising when I say Wakiva's starting position's been inside their 20, Olympia's been around midfield. But to my point, going all the way back to the second play of the game, Wakiva fumbled the ball on an attempted run, a rush. Olympia recovered at their only 22-yard line, and that's just been the way it's been all night, that field position.
Yeah, I mean, it really was an omen. You hope that those things are flukes and don't prove to be indicative of how the overall game is going to go, but in this particular case, Matthew Haynes on the carry. Loss of 1 brings the ball out to the 49-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 11 for the Titans.
So now at this point, if you're Olympia and Coach Gabriel, certainly you're not looking to add to that score. You just want to hold on to the ball, keep the clock moving, as you're going to see a lot of those type of plays. Davis spurting around that left side and motoring, charging ahead for a first down.
Dominique Sanguine on the carry. The stop made by Jaden Robinson. That will advance the ball to the 36-yard line for a gain of 13 on the play, and that is enough for a Titan first down.
And there's exactly what I was saying, what you want to do if you're Olympia right now. Just keep that ball moving up the field, keep the clock ticking. We're 10-15. Out of the one-back set. And actually, I've always counted as 10 yards. So I mean, like if he gets from 10 yards beyond, I count it as a first down too. If it's inside the 10, I don't. And I do apologize. The actually switch of quarterbacks for Olympia. It's Dominique Sanguine into the game. As we hit 10 minutes remaining in this 2025 preseason kickoff classic. Taking the handoff, a stop, a go. Still on his feet, charging, motoring, and into the end zone. Score it for Matthew Haynes. 28 yards, and the lead now grows to 28-0, 9:48, fourth quarter.
Matthew Haynes is into the end zone for a Titan touchdown.
So in for the PAT. Sure, snap, ball down, kick up. And this time, no problems for the PAT and a 29-0 lead for Olympia.
Haley Romer, our administration has recovered a personal effect of yours, and you can pick it up at the front gate. Again, Haley Romer, please report to the front gate to recover an item.
Yeah, I think it was. I wasn't paying attention either.
Stay outside. Stay outside. I'm ready to go. Tell her I said I'm ready to go.
So Wakiva takes possession. That's St. George. Not much room to operate. And actually, excuse me, that was 26. So 9:36 remaining. Wakiva trailing 29-0 in the 2025 Preseason Kickoff Classic. Long way to go once again for Wakiva. I've talked about it all night. Wakiva's field position. Again, don't have the exact amount, but if you've been with us, I'm sure I'm not giving you any surprise by saying it's been inside their own 20-yard line, the starting position, as Chooks, incomplete pass on first down. So Chooks will line them up once again. Out of the one-back set, 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Shotgun to his right, and another incomplete pass. Hearing the footsteps of that defensive line.
Pass intended for Walker falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 20-yard line.
.9:23 remaining now. Chooks calls out the signals. Back, under pressure, lets it fly towards midfield. And again, the secondary showing its wares. Great defense, and of course, the secondary was helped by having 2-on-1 coverage there. So that will bring up 3rd and 10.
Pass intended for Dominique
Actually, 4th and
Walker.
10.
Eric Weems and Kenneth Kearns had the secondary coverage, and it brings up 4th and 10 for the Mustangs. So again, Neil, at this point, I think you fall back on the fact that this is a preseason game. This is not a playoff game. The objective, I think, if you're Coach Doug Gabriel, is to maximize your learnings and your experience for these players, not necessarily to try to figure out some miracle to recover 30 points in 9 minutes and 18 seconds.
Absolutely, Mark. And the one thing, unfortunately in life, you can say this for any experience, but no matter how much you practice, until you actually do whatever it is that you're practicing for, there's just no substitute. And my father, perhaps the greatest lesson that he ever taught me was, and even though he liked to say it over and over when I was a kid, but I now understand as an adult why he said it over and over, and that's, there is no better teacher than experience. There's no more painful teacher than experience, but there's no better teacher.
Flag on the play. Illegal substitution called against the Mustang. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 4th and 15. And the ball is fumbled into the end zone for a safety. Well, as one of my college professors would say, physics is a cruel mistress. Hello?
And so Wakiva will kick off after giving up the safety, now down 31-0, 9:08 remaining. It's been a consistent performance by Olympia, as well as dominating, of course, 31-0. I don't think I'm saying anything that's a surprise. And now we got something else going here as Weems cuts across, right to left, still on his feet, motoring down that left sideline and into the end zone. And now what's been a long night is now taking its toll.
Runs the kickoff all the way back for the touchdown. However, there is a penalty marker on the field. Block in the back is called against the Titans, so that touchdown will come back. Apologize for the camera angle there. I was still posting the safety to social media and was not expecting fireworks on the next play.
No, but the ball, once again, Olympia will be starting in Wakiva territory, even with that penalty at the Wakiva 40-yard line.
Also, forgive this announcement that needs to be made to the stadium. Kaylee Romer, please report to the front gate. You have an item waiting for you there. Kaylee Romer, please report to the front gate. There is an item waiting for you there.
Sanguine lines up Olympia one more time.
The Mustangs request their final timeout of the second half.
And we won't get a playoff, as you heard Mark say. Coach Gabriel decided to call the timeout. So 8:19 remaining. Olympia sitting on a 31-0 lead. They'll go back to work. The handoff to Haynes. He goes off that right side, loses the ball. And one of the few bright spots for Wakiva, they take advantage of a miscue from Olympia.
Fumble is recovered for the Mustangs by Robert Hollis. And so Wakiva takes over from the 35-yard line. So nice to have a number in that spot on the score sheet.
So Wakiva will take over 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. 7:45 remaining. We'll see if they can avoid the shutout, as we are now clearly in the latter stages of this 2025 Kickoff Classic, Preseason Kickoff Classic. Wakiva certainly has a lot of work to do this week as they get ready for their first regular season game. That'll be on the road against Edgewater. Of course, Edgewater, always a state power. One of those teams that expect to make a long
talk about
run
eating
into
your
the
big
playoffs.
frog first, or big eagle, I guess.
And Wakiva returns the favor, and that's going to be an easy 7 with 7:08 remaining.
Ball is picked off by Keyshawn Marcellus and returned for a Titan touchdown. Interception occurred at the 33-yard line, so that'll be a 33-yard run back.
That's the second interception return for a touchdown tonight for Olympia. Of course, Dylan Robinson opened up the scoring with a 1-yard interception return. And it does take us to the running clock now. If you're new to high school football in Florida, a 35-point lead in the second half. The clock continues to run. It only stops for timeouts. And the change of the quarters, which of course is a moot point in this particular instance. So that's going to pretty much put an end to, I guess you say, the normal flow of a game tonight, and Wakiva's opportunity to put together a sustained long drive, as we are now under 6 minutes.
PAT by Joshua Shearer is good. That'll make it a 38-0 ball game with 5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And that will also trigger running clock conditions for the remainder of the night. So again, for those of you who are depending on a ride to get home from tonight's game, if they're not already on their way, let them know when we say 5.5 minutes, we mean exactly 5.5 minutes.
How many yards was that? 33? 33? So back to live action. Wakiva trying to avoid the shutout. And it's going to be a tall task given their struggles tonight. And now in a running clock, 4 minutes remaining. They'll take over possession at their own 17-yard line. So clock continues to run, 3.5 minutes. Wakiva will have to work with it. Wakiva in Olympia territory only once tonight. Chooks steps back. And another incomplete. As we move under 3 minutes remaining in the 2025 Preseason Kickoff Classic. Out of the one back set. And this time it will be a completion. Sliding off that tackle is Walker. And he does get back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps gained it a yard forward. What was the safety? I mean, how did we drop Wakiva fumble in the end zone?
Pass snap. We were at the 20, we had a penalty to 15, and then we stopped.
So under 2 minutes left now. And the INT continues. And that should just about put this game away once he hits the ground. And is that a touchdown or is he out of bounds? Either way, I don't foresee there being another play playing today, maybe one at the most. So a quick scoring summary as Olympia came in and dominated tonight's game.
That's Keyshawn Woods with the run pick six, pending the outcome of the penalty marker.
First quarter, Robinson, the 1-yard interception return, and that really set the stage. Gave Olympia a 6-0 lead. Second quarter, Scherer, the 27-yard field goal. 9-0. Noble, a 5-yard rush in the third quarter, 16-0. Then Noble connecting with Howard on a 5-yard pass, 22-0. And then the fourth quarter.
Block in the back is called against Olympia, so that will come back.
And
the interception remains, and that will stand, but the run back for the touchdown will not. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It gives Olympia 1st and 10 at their 30.
And in the fourth quarter, closing out the scoring, Haynes with a 36-yard rush, 29-0, and then Davis a 33-yard interception return to bring us to the final score of 38-0. Actually, there was a safety between those two, a bad snap which went out of the end zone.
Aiden Carmichael sacks Dominique Sanguine.
And that takes us to the 38-0 score. Go back to the second play of the game. Wakiva fumbled on the 22-yard line. That set the tone. So Coach Gabriel, staff, and players have a lot of work to do going back to the drawing board as they get ready for the opener against Edgewater next week. In the meantime, Olympia will come in feeling good off of this 38-0 victory. They'll take on Horizon to open up their season. Mark,
that
take
takes us to the end
line.
of the ball game. Preseason Classic final, 38-0 Titans. We want to thank everyone for coming out to support your Mustang and Titan athletes. And this game doesn't count on the record, but it gives us some valuable information as we head into season 19 of Mustang football. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. We are at Wakiva Sports on all 4 of those services. And also bookmark WakivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. We have loaded all of the football, volleyball, and bowling events onto the schedule. We are still working on cross-country, golf, and swimming. As soon as we have those schedules ready to load, we will get them up there as well. The Mustangs are on the road next week at Edgewater High School to start off the regular season in week 1. That'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff at the Eagles house. Your next chance to catch them at home is going to be 2 weeks from today, August 29th at 7 p.m., where Wakiva will host the West Orange Warriors. And we will be with you here online on YouTube and the NFHS network with coverage of that game as well. Once again, thanks for joining us here in person at Mustang Field or for joining us on YouTube or the NFHS network. If you're here in the stadium, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching us online, please be sure to subscribe before you go, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Until then, for Neil Fisher, this is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, wishing you a good night and a great weekend. Good night from Mustang Field.